Okay. Well, enough with that. What is it? That one. What is it? Of the previous video that I did with the was it with the VTubers. About the was it the struggles of being what is it? Oh, male VTuber, which is interesting. But anyway, this one is about. I saw this one. What is a comment to my feed, which I have seen some shorts, YouTube shorts of this guy, which I think he's going to be completely amazing. Lost in the Pond, very interesting name. I give it one. I give it that. 6 American Things I Could No Longer Live With, Part 3, which I might end up doing a part 2 and part 1 if the video actually really entertains me. But let's see what this British guy can live without that are American things. Let's go.
Starving. Hello, I'm Lawrence and I'm on a quest to uncover all of the memos that Britain and America lost in the pond. And one of those memos pertains to things and stuff, specifically American things and stuff that I can no longer live without. Those of you who've been
Right.
subscribed to this channel for the last few months will know that I've already done 2 videos with this title, and that unlike the Gremlins franchise, this one gets a part 3. Conversely, if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, do that now.
Right.
In the meantime, you know the drill. I'm going to walk you through 6 American things that have become so ingrained in my life, they are my life.
U.S.
Today,
citizenship.
I did
Okay.
something that I haven't done since 1998, and that is look at my calendar. And I was surprised to see that it's been 2 years this week since I, Lawrence Brown, became a United States citizen. And I'm here to tell you
Really?
today that I can no longer live without that very citizenship. And you might be thinking, Lawrence, you lived in America for 14 years without being a citizen. What are you talking about?
That is interesting though, how someone could live so long in America and not be a citizen, even after all those years later.
Well, there's a certain truth to the notion that once you pass certain milestones in life, whatever it might be, there's no going back from that. The day I got it in a mass ceremony here in Chicago, I felt proud to be an American, just like I did when I watched the film Air Force One for the first time. And I still feel
Yeah.
that. There's a massive difference, I think, in the psychological feeling that you carry around with you between when you're merely a resident and when you're a citizen. As soon as you become a citizen, you feel like you 100% belong to this
Right.
country instead of 95%, which is
I think a lot of people tend to feel that way when they actually become Americans and things like that, especially in the country that they lived there for such a long time. Um, I don't doubt that there's some sort of like relievance or something. Especially when you get the citizenship of that country that you've been part of for many years.
how I felt before. But on top of that, you have all manner of new things that you can do. Number 1, I don't have to go into a separate queue at the airport to my American wife. Number 2, I can now legally vote on US elections. Number 3, I can do jury
Yeah, true.
duty, which inevitably will happen now that I've announced that to thousands of people. And number 4, it's legally much harder for me to be kicked out of the country, which, if you've seen my early videos, is a remote possibility.
Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches are terrible.
Anyway, one British
Okay. All right. Understandable. I get why.
thing that I can no longer live without is the British TV show All Creatures Great and Small. So how does somebody like me consume the UK's Channel 5 while in America?
Well, I've got 4 words for you. NordVPN. Actually, that's just one word.
NordVPN.
NordVPN is a virtual private network that, among other things, allows me to access my favourite television shows, even when I'm in another country.
And I feel safe doing so.
I'll be honest with
because
you.
of NordVPN's
What
threat
person doesn't
protection.
have
Threat protection
NordVPN
scans
anymore?
and removes malware. It also blocks malicious websites, stops web trackers, and removes annoying ads.
As opposed to the best brand partnerships that you've ever seen.
If you sign up at nordvpn.com/pond, NordVPN is your oyster. Here's why. Every purchase of the 2
I'll be honest with you. Who doesn't have what content creator doesn't have NordVPN nowadays?
year plan will receive 4 bonus months on top, an offer that extends to all plans, standard, plus, and complete.
And I'll be honest, you're not going to find a deal as good as this one except through content creators like me, which is proof that I'm really important. But also that you should jump on this deal right now.
Remember, head to
Ah, yes, because you got the sponsorship makes you important, bro. Do you have any idea how many people get sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends? I'm just saying.
nordvpn.com/pond to get your exclusive offer. The link is in my description below.
plaid
recently some of
shirts.
you have commented, "Ooh, Lawrence, you are wearing snazzy shirts these days." And you're wrong. I am wearing one snazzy new shirt that Tara bought
I think when you reach a certain, definitely a certain age, and maybe even depending on where you live at, you 100% start wearing what is it? These clothings, 100%.
for me because I happen to say that I sort of like the look that fellow YouTube sensation Evan Edingo is going for in our collab video. Basically, I think she thinks that I want to be more like him, but now that I've put it on, I really like it. I'm sold. I'm a convert to
Yeah,
the
of
American
course.
plaid shirt. Now, you might be thinking, plaid isn't uniquely American. In fact, plaid originated in Scotland. I know that, but I'm not wearing a kilt today. I'm wearing a plaid shirt, which to me is very synonymous with American autumn and the grunge movement. What I'm saying is, I am Kurt Cobain with just the wrong accent and hair and musical ability. The only problem
Hey man, at least you have a head, so that's good. You know, you got your brains. I like him.
with this shirt is that it's from the
Anyway,
discount rack, and I don't usually have an issue with that, but I do take issue when it's ripped on both elbows. I see this as an excuse to get more of these and ask you, is it permissible to wear these in the winter as well as the autumn?
he's wearing the North Face jacket. Understandable. Probably where he lives at, I'm pretty sure he gets really cold.
As we know, winter is fast approaching,
Yeah.
which brings us on to this.
American
When
Christmas.
British people like me move to the United States and they experience for the first time an American Christmas, they find it
like
hard
that
to
sort of
accept
shit?
the fact
Yeah.
that many of the British Christmas traditions don't exist here. I'm talking about pulling crackers, wearing stupid paper hats, eating Christmas pudding, eating mince pies, and slightly overdoing it on the Advocar. And because of this, while you celebrate...
Yeah, it is, you know, that's something that I never really questioned, like how different Christmas is in other nations. It's never really, you know, I know about like I know about like Hanukkah and Kwanzaa, and and it is interesting how other cultures you know, do Christmas. But for the British one, it's like I don't think it'd be that far off. Not like, you know, like I don't think majorly, right? Like how majorly, like like maybe some points of it is different. Sure, I can give it that, but how big of a difference is it?
Christmas with your American family or friends, it can almost feel like there's something big missing. But the longer that I've lived here, the more I start getting excited about the countdown to Christmas. Because I think over time, you do something enough and with the right attitude, you suddenly start embracing it for the things that it does do rather than the things it doesn't. So, for instance, I love the night before Christmas where we go driving around to look at all of the really excessive Christmas lights, because it's just not something we tend to see in Britain on this level. When I lived in Britain, it was very novel to receive news reports or videos from the United States of, oh, look at what this wacky family did in Wisconsin. They put up so many lights that...
Yeah, it's like what's that YouTube channel? It's like that one guy who sets up oh, what is it? It's a specifically Christmas, or maybe it's Christmas and Halloween. No, I think it's just Christmas. But he sets up this whole elaborate thing to do like concerts and things like that with Christmas lights and all that. And does his whole show like on his house, and it is awesome to see. But yeah, these are things like that you will probably only see in America. Someone doing all this stuff, it's absolutely insane how some people that are like, yeah, I'll just put like the, you know, the lights around the house, and then you got others that are like, they got to put blow ups. What is it from the on the front yard, on the roof? They got to put, what is it, lights all over the trees, the fence. Um, what is it? They got to put up a wreath. You got to put what is it? They got to put what is it? The snow spray on the windows, and all that stuff. Yeah, there's definitely people that do like all of that. That's kind of my family, as well. Not really with the blow ups, but everything else. Yeah.
they accidentally set their house on fire. And America might not do mince pies,
Yeah.
but as I pointed out in the Thanksgiving video, it does many other pies. Plus, you can get mince pies from World Market, so we are taken care of in that respect. Furthermore, there's a different selection of Christmas
They say mince pie.
Christmas songs here to be utterly annoyed by, and I'm not going to list those off now because I did that in a video last year. Check it out. The point is Christmas here,
What?
along with the holiday season in general, which includes Thanksgiving, Halloween, Labor Day, I mean, these are my parameters. It's just an altogether different experience to what I had in Britain. And it's like bacon. I love the British version and I love the American version. And I believe I can live
Right.
without neither. So why should you? But anyway, speaking of food, cue up
Fair
the next
enough.
entry. Or should that be entree?
The entrees, string cheese, really? I mean, I'm not saying that in terms of like in disbelief, but it's just like really string cheese. That's just an interesting. That's an interesting pick.
I have a bit of a problem here. I can't stop eating string cheese. It's just become a big thing, an addiction, one might say, in recent weeks. Because the thing is, they're such an easy snack. Now, string cheese, especially
True.
in the mozzarella variety, can be found in other countries. They just don't usually look like a hot dog covered in cream. And that's what we have.
Yeah, I mean, well, if that's the case, then sure, I can understand why. Especially when you really, really like them. Granted, I like them too. So, Barbie not as much as him, but it's understandable why he says that.
Have here in America, because these things, they almost look like cheese sticks that are very common here in the Midwest, just without the crumbs around it. And so in a way I convinced myself, because it's not fried like a cheese stick, that it's healthy for me and that I could just eat 100 of these every day. I don't eat 100.
Well, I mean, it's not exactly wrong. However, he's still wrong either. He's not wrong, but he's still wrong. It's like, yes, it is true. It is quote unquote healthier. However, because you're not eating like all the all the oil and everything, sure, you know. Well, like the oil, probably like the salt mixed in it as well, and all the other stuff. Yeah, sure, but it's still cheese, it's still dairy, it's all that stuff. So it's like it's still not good for you at the end of the day. Well, eating a whole lot of it's not good for you.
Don't get carried away. It's more like 50. But still, it's too much
Jeez.
cheese for anyone to have. And I
Yeah.
am very concerned that I may end up turning into a big piece of stretchy cheese myself if I keep going. But I just can't help it, because that's the thing about the Midwest. It's not just these, it's not just cheese sticks, it's cheese curds, it's cheese balls, it's cheese pizza. So you can't avoid it. And I
Cheese
feel
curds
like it's better
are pretty
just
good.
to give in to cheese. Yeah, I think I need to go and get some exercise.
Winter hiking
When I
boots.
first moved here, that exercise probably wouldn't have taken place outside.
Okay, this I don't know of because granted I don't live in these areas, so this is no use for me.
At this time of year.
But let's see why.
And that's not just because my nose hairs used to freeze, it's also because my feet did. I'd just been so used to winters in Britain where you could more or less get away with wearing tennis shoes unless it was icy out, and a good pair of socks, and you'd be all right. So
Yeah.
that instinct kicked in for the first few years of living in the US until I realized that everybody else was wearing winter hiking boots. Now, we have hiking boots in Britain, but the thing is, we usually wear them to go hiking. After all, we are a nation of hikers. But in America, you might
Right.
do that, but you might also put them on to go for a leisurely stroll down the street with your dog who's trying to destroy your gloves. And to that extent, they have become a crucial piece of footwear while living in the Midwest. Because with these, your feet stay absolutely warm, whether you're wearing thick socks,
Yeah.
thin socks, or no socks, as I did on one occasion.
It's because it's what it's made out of. It's all what is it? It's because it's the material that's being used, and also it's not that it'll keep them warm. It'll keep them dry, especially when you properly when you have the proper when you properly what is it wear them. It'll keep your feet dry. So that's always the that should always be the case. Especially when you live in these areas, you don't want wet feet, especially when it's cold. Nuh-uh. Mm-mm.
Took me 2 hours to clean out the smell. The point is, so long as you've got the right winter clothes, what are you doing? As long as you've got the right winter clothes, you can just about get through a Midwestern winter. I just wish that somebody had told me that before I spent a whole season scraping ice off my car. And speaking of which,
Double wide garage.
I never have to worry about that now because I have a garage. And not just any garage, but a very American double wide garage. Does that make me sound like I'm out of touch?
Those of you who were subscribed to me just after I got my US citizenship will know that I moved into this house at that time. And as somebody who rented
Yeah.
for 14 years living in this country, I never got to know the joys of having my own garage. And since I made the first part in this series, I've only gotten to know those joys even more. Because remember when I showed you the mudroom and how it had become a kind of catch-all space for all of the recycling that I'd accrued? My wife wasn't particularly happy with that situation, plus a squirrel had gotten in and left a lot of poo. So she wanted me to get rid of all of the cardboard, except one problem still remained. I had so much of it from all of the stuff that sponsors had sent us and just from generally being a YouTube sensation that it still wouldn't all fit in the recycling bin the first time around. So for now, I've moved it into here and I will definitely be on top of it and get rid of it piece by piece whenever there is space in the recycling.
I mean, you could just what is it? He could just order a trash bin and then have it be picked up later. You could, I mean, he could do, or he could call the city about waste being thrown out. I don't know how often other places do it, but from where I'm at, once I think once a year, I think you could call the city and then tell them, oh, what is it? We have these things outside, and then they'll come pick them up. Like they do like a group, like massive like trash pickings or trash collectings and things like that. People want to throw out. Uh, I'm pretty sure you could just kind of do it whenever, 100%.
But you'll notice that it's all shoved off to the side so that we have room in the other half of the garage for the car. To reiterate, this wouldn't have been possible in the garage that I grew up with in England because like many British garages or garages, as some
Not
British
my
people
car,
might say,
obviously.
or garages, as Americans might say, there was only room for one car instead of
Yeah.
one car and lots of trash. And it's just dawned on me actually that because it's about to be Christmas, the recycling is going to be through the roof. Maybe literally, which would provide easy access for squirrels. Here's what I'll do. I'll pay somebody to take care of it. That makes me sound more out of touch. Sorry. Either way, while I'm taking care of that, go and watch part 1 and I'll see you again soon. Or you'll see me, I won't see you.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like he can. What is it? But that's the thing. Is like
While I'm taking care
What is it? You don't have to pay. I mean, you could pay a service if you want to, but he can. He could probably call the city and ask them. What is it? And tell them and ask them for like a trash bin or something like that, or just or a pickup of trash. I'm pretty sure he could call the city and try to see if well what can be arranged, or if such thing can happen. Yeah, he could absolutely hire a service to take out the trash. What is it? He could rent out a bin, but maybe he just doesn't know that. But anyway, great. It's a good video. I like that. It is interesting to see like what are the things that what is it that a British guy sees. And, even though he's lived in America for a very long time. That's a long time. 14 years, almost 15 years. That's a long time. But it's interesting to see and it's interesting to see his perspective on the things that he can't live with that are American things, especially with Christmas and things like that. Just seeing how different it is from when he experienced it from over there for so long, and then experiencing it here. He's like, damn, over here it's just even more crazier. But it's very lovely. It's very very good. Um, it's interesting to see the different perspective of someone that is not from here. But anyway, hopefully this guy does. Hopefully he does more. What is it? What is it? Hopefully he does more amazing things. What is it later on? Later. I hope he keeps expanding more and more and more. Getting more subs, getting more likes. Anyway, check out this guy, Lost in the Pond. He's great. I've seen his stuff once in a while, especially in YouTube Shorts. And I hope you guys like this video and subscribe as well. And I'll check you guys out next time. And I definitely will be seeing part 2 and part 1. I kind of want to do it from 2, 3, 2, 1 instead of doing it from 1, 2, 3. But anyway, have a good one. Peace.